Attention bowlers, we are going to get started. Welcome to Lakeside Lanes in Manchester, New Hampshire for an Atlantic Candlepin Singles Tour match in Class E North. Today it's going to be Garey Dionne versus Dave LaRoche here in Manchester, New Hampshire on Candia Road. Hi everybody, I'm Steve Kelly. It's going to be a great match today between two competitors that are looking to get some more points for the playoff aspirations. It's Garey Dionne with a season record of 86 and 82, and Dave LaRoche with a season record of 114 and 68. It should be a great one. Let's get going here. Garey Dionne will begin first as the away bowler today. And it's going to be, again, a great match. If I can't emphasize that enough. So today the match format is 5 strings with 14 points available. 2 points per string and 4 for total pinfall. If there is a tie, the points are evenly split. There is Garey Dionne with the opening ball, and that's a nice opening ball, a 9-drop. It's the 10 pin down there for Garey Dionne. And check it out, that's a spare for Garey. First ball, first box. Well done by Garey Dionne to start things out. Look at that. Beautiful to start it out right with a mark. Garey Dionne. Working on a spare. Here's Garey filling a spare. He'll fill it with 5. 15 through 1. So it's 2 points per string, 14 total, 4 for total pinfall. Ties divide in 2. Garey Dionne almost does it again with another spare. Leaves the 10 though. Some housekeeping today. Candlepin bowling is based out of New England and Canada. It's a bit different from 10 pin. We don't clear the deadwood around the pins. There's no oil patterns. The game is generally a lot more difficult than 10 pin. We've never thrown a 300 in Candlepin. There's a lot more entropy, much more smaller targets. More thought needs to be put in on how you make shots based on the deadwood, which is not cleared between each ball. Atlantic Candlepin Singles Tour bowlers presently average between 82 and 128 at the extreme ends. And that's the story of Candlepin bowling in the ACST. This regular season match today. Here's Garey Dionne with a split. Puts 6 down. 4, 6, 3, 10 for Garey. Garey plays the 3 on the right. Takes the 6 and the 10, leaves the 3 and the 4. Garey will make it a 9. That's 34 through 3 for Mr. Dionne. Subtitles and live captions are available should you need or prefer them. YouTube should have a transcript feature handy as well. I'll call the match for you in audio form as well as keep the scoreboard updated on your screen. My scoreboard here is unofficial. The bowlers make the final calls on scores. Here's Garey Dionne taking 7 down on the head pin. It's the 3, 6, 10. I will likely have chapters added to the YouTube description of this video so you'll be able to jump to certain points in the games if that is your preference. Here's Garey. Oh, missing the spare shot to the left. Overthought it a little bit. If in the off chance you like this content, I encourage you to consider subscribing to this channel to help us grow. That's the Atlantic Candlepin Singles Tour page on Facebook and YouTube. There's Garey Dionne. He put the ball where it should have gone, but the 10 doesn't go, so he'll take a 9 in the 4th for 43. Bowlers will bowl 5 boxes at a time today, and they'll switch every 5. So after Garey Dionne, we'll have Dave LaRoche on lane 4 next. Garey, not on the head pin, takes 6 down. Takes 7 down, actually. Late falling 3 pin. 1, 6, 10 for Garey Dionne. And Garey misses off to the left. 7, 8, 9, or 10 for Garey. We'll assess his half here right now. That's a 9 box for Garey. That's 52 through 5. So here's through 5 for Garey. Half the first game done. 3 for 5 in the head pin with 1 split, a spare and a 5 fill with a 10, and then 3 9s puts him at a confirmed 52 after 5. That's the story of our away bowler so far. Let's say hello to our home bowler next. That's Dave LaRoche of Lakeside Lanes in Manchester, New Hampshire on lane 4 on the ACST. Introducing Dave LaRoche, who is sponsored by the Alamo Texas Barbecue and Tequila Bar in Brookline, New Hampshire on 99 Route 113, as Dave remembers to take his slide cover off his shoe. Very important. Here's Dave. He'll take 3 out on the right side. 4 in the middle, 3 on the left. Dave for the spare. He takes all but 3 on the pocket. That's a hard shot to make. Even if you hit it right, usually there's a straggler or 2. You have to throw basically a strike ball. And there is a 9 for Dave, opening up the first frame. 9 through 1 for Mr. LaRoche. Dave LaRoche has a season record of 114 and 68. He's bowled 13 matches of the 18-match season. This is his 14th match, so he's almost done. He has an away record of 68 and 30, a home record of 46 and 38, a season average of 104.10. Dave will put down 7. That's the 1-3-10 for Dave LaRoche. I think this can go. Do you? What do you think? Oh, well, Dave thought he could take it on the head pin, but hit it a little full, shooting it straight back, leaving the 3 and the 10. And there's Dave LaRoche. He'll chop out another, and he'll take a second 9-box in a row for 18 after 2. Dave LaRoche has an away average of 105.5, but he's home today at Lakeside Lanes, and at home he averages 102.6. High single 142, high series 550 for Dave LaRoche with 29 strikes, 127 spares, and 156 10 boxes. He has a perfect box percentage of exactly 50% this season. 6,768 seasonal pinfall so far for Dave LaRoche as he commits a spread eagle down the center. The spread eagle when you punch out the center, leaving the left and the right wings. Dave LaRoche on the eagle. Gotta pick your favorite side of 3. Dave will go on the 6 and the 10, missing the 3-6 pocket. Dave LaRoche is a division leader, and he's number 2 in the class seedings among the division leaders in Class C North, Division 4, as Dave LaRoche will take a 9-box. His 3rd in a row for 27 through 3. Here comes Dave on lane 4. Buries the head pin, takes down 7. 2-5-7 leave for Dave. How would I play this? I would go slightly to the left of the 2 pin. It's not the only way to take it, but it's a recommended way to take it. Dave is a little bit to the right of the 2 pin, nudges the 5 down through a piece of wood and leaves the 7. And Dave will wave that off as a 9, his 4th 9 in a row, 36 through 4. Your multiplication tables, 9 times 4. We're at Lakeside Lanes in Manchester, New Hampshire today, off of exit 1 on Route 101 in Manchester, New Hampshire. The first right off the Massabesic traffic circle after taking exit 1. Here's Dave. To the right of the head pin, puts down 5. And a Garey stands. Dave LaRoche versus the Garey. On the 1-2 pocket, runs down the 4 horsemen, leaves the 9. And it'll be 5 nines a service for Dave LaRoche. 5 in a row, 5 nines. That's a 45 half for Dave. A perfect set of nines. So Garey Dionne has an early advantage of 52 in the 5th with a mark. Dave LaRoche consistent, though, with 5 nines. Coming up next is Garey Dionne on lane 3 today. Garey Dionne. Let's talk about Garey Dionne, our away bowler, who has a season record of 86 and 82. He's bowled 12 matches of the 18-match season. Is in Class C North Division 1. Bowls out of Academy Lanes in Haverhill, Massachusetts. Takes 8 down. 6-7 leave. No wood. Garey's off to the left of the 6. Garey Dionne has a season record of 40 and 30. Home record 46 and 52. Season average 103.4. And I'm afraid that's going to be an 8 box for Garey Dionne. As it went to the channel, took out both pins, but not in a kosher way. It'll be 60 through 6 for Garey. Garey Dionne averages 103.9 when he's on the road and 103.10 when he's at home. Very similar averages, no matter where he is. He'll take 3 down. Garey Dionne's high single is 145, and his high series is 548. Garey Dionne on the second ball shaves a few more off, misses the target, leaves the 1, 3, 6, 10 right side 4 horsemen. Garey Dionne is second place in his division, 4th in the wildcard seed. 27 strikes, 110 spares, 128 tens for the season. 40% perfect box percentage, 6,206 seasonal pinfall. Garey Dionne with a 7. 67 through 7. Garey Dionne had a rather amusing issue this morning, because I heard it as we were all in the parking lot. We all kind of got here at the same time. And Garey gets out of his car, and then he stops, and he says, "I think I forgot my bowling balls." And we were like, "Oh, no." I'm like, "That's not good for you." Then he realized, no, he had his bowling balls. What he forgot were the bowling shoes. So it's Garey Dionne today. He's using a borrowed pair of shoes from Lakeside Lanes. So just thought that was amusing. Garey Dionne misses the spare shot. He'll take 2 more out. 7 box, 74 through 8 by the looks of it. He was waiting on that 10 pin and that piece of wood to see if it would give it any extra oomph, but no can do. 74 through 8 for Garey Dionne. Six go down for Garey. 1, 2, 5, 9. Misses the object slightly. Takes a sleeper. 1, 2, 5 are left for Garey. Leaves the 5 for a 9. That's 83 through 9. It's Garey Dionne with the final box of the first game. It's away on the pocket. And he'll take 5 out. It's the spread eagle minus the 2. 3, 4, 6, 7, 10 for Garey. Piece of wood in the center. Play the 3 in some way. Just slightly to the right of the 3. Garey on the 6 only. Overshot a little bit. Ends up taking an 8 box. First game for Garey is going to register as a 91. It's your first full game update for the day. Assuming that he puts it in on the correct score computer down there. Yes, it is 91 officially. Some scoreboard comedy going on down there. But it is official. It is 91 through 10 for Garey Dionne in the first with 1 spare. With a 5 fill, 110, and the rest were open frames. Here comes Dave LaRoche next. Dave's on the pocket. Takes 7 down. It's the 2-7-8. 3 pins standing. Dave by the Alamo, and the owner of the Alamo, Dominic Mariano, bowls with myself and Dave. Oh, and there is a spare for Dave LaRoche, though. Pause for a moment to play you this shot again. Beautiful. Yes, Dominic Mariano bowls with me and Dave on Thursday nights at Lakeside. Great food. Do check it out. 2 fill for Dave LaRoche on the 4 and the 7. Couple more go down. Leaves the 1 and the 2. Dave will take a 10. We're at a dead heat through 7, 67 for both bowlers. It'll be a race to 91 or higher. 91 to tie for 1 point. Anything higher for 2 points for Dave LaRoche in the first. Dave talking about the Alamo to Garey. Dave, slightly west of the head pin, takes 5 down. 1-7-10, 3-6. Takes down all but the object pin, as that was the pin he missed. Would have been a great spare if that head pin wasn't there. It'll be a 9 for Dave, 76 through 8. He'll take an advantage of 2. Dave on the head pin takes 8 down, leaves the 4 and the 7. For the spare, and he'll just barely get it, but he's got the spare. What a play by Dave. I was a little scared for that 1 pin that took a little extra second to go down, but it did. Rides that rail. Dave LaRoche is working on a spare now. It's on that head pin. He'll take 7 down. 93 through 9. Dave will take the first game. 3-5-9 leave. And it's another spare for Dave LaRoche. Nicely done by Dave. 3-5-9. Right on the 3. Piece of wood right in between the rest. Takes them all out, no problem. Dave LaRoche for the final ball of the first game. Takes 7 down. Dave LaRoche's opening game is 110. To Garey Dionne's 91. Dave LaRoche will take 2 points. The home bowler with an early win in the first game. Onward to the next game now. On the Atlantic Candlepin Singles Tour, I'm Steve Kelly on the call. It's great to have you, and I hope you are enjoying this match, and hope you're having a great time at home on this late morning match on Saturday, April 4th, 2026. Grab a coffee. It's going to be great. Let's start game 2. Here's Garey Dionne. Starting out with a nice spare leave, an 8-drop, 6-9. And the 6-9 is gone for Garey Dionne. That's a mark in the first. Watch this shot by Garey. Garey's working on a mark fill, and yikes, that's going to be a 2. It's what we call a half Worcester punch. So when you punch out the 2 and the 8 or just the 3 and the 9, this is the 2-8 punched out. Garey's on the outside of the head pin, the right way to hit it, and he'll leave the 3-6-10. Becomes an 8 as he misses the target for the last 3 pins. 20-2. Garey Dionne, our away bowler today. Again, he's 86 and 82. 27 points in his past 5 matches. He's averaged 5.4 points per match. Garey will have 5 pins to deal with as he takes down 5 and leaves 5 as the Caleri once again. Garey's on the sleeper, leaves the 4 and the 4 front foreground pins. The 4 horsemen right side now. Garey runs him down though for a 10. That's 30-3 for Dionne. Garey's longest streak of matches, strings, excuse me, where he's totaled over 100, has been 8 in a row this season. Garey on the head pin, leaves 7. 2-7-10. Dionne misses the 2 to the left, takes the 7, leaves the 10. It will be a 9 for Garey, who is posted at 39-4. Garey Dionne today is 50% on the head pin. 4 splits. Averaging 5.8 pins down on the first ball so far. Garey will take 7 down. 3-6-10. Garey nudges the 3, nudges the 6. The 10 stands tall. Garey will take a 9 box as he goes into the channel on the right side. Through 5, Garey Dionne is at 48 in this string, 3 for 5 in the head pin with 1 split. Overall, he's at 139 a game and a half in, with 8 splits overall, 53%, and 8 head pin shots, 53%, and 4 splits overall. Maintaining that 5.95 first ball average. And now, Dave LaRoche. Dave is a little bit full on the head pin. 6 go down, 4-6, 3-10. Dave sails into the center hole. Dave will take an 8 to start out game 1. Excuse me, first box of the second game. There is a wasp on the ceiling above Dave. If you're wondering what that was about, it took me a second, and I looked up and I was like, oh, yeah. That's there is a wasp up there. Hopefully he stays up there. Dave LaRoche will take down 5. 1-7, 10, 3-6. Dave on the 1-3, and that's it. And it will be a 7 for Dave as he waves that off. That's 15 through 2. Dave LaRoche in his past 5 matches has taken 44 points, averaging 8.8 points per match. It's a winning record. 27-12 pins in his past 5 matches. His longest streak of strings over 100 has been 7 in a row, compared to Garey's 8. Dave will mix down 5. 1, 2, 5, 8, 9. And LaRoche is on the pocket, but he leaves the 5 and the 9. Pins just kind of spread out between them. He'll take a 9 in the third for 24. Garey Dionne leading by 6 at this point in the game. In the first game, Dave took it by having a run of marks in the second half, 3 spares in the second half. And he was down and then until he was up. Dave LaRoche will punch the 3 and the 9 on the right side for a half Worcester on the right side this time. Again, the half Worcester. This is the opposite version. And Dave will take the other side of the half Worcester plus extra pins. He's got the 1, 4, 6, 7. They'll make it an 8 through the 4th for 32. Dave has 4 matches in a row where he's gone more than 500 in grand total pinfall, unbroken. His longest winning streak of more than 7 points per match has been 6 in a row this season. Here's Dave. He'll put down 5. 7, 10, 4, 6, 2. And Dave will chop out 2 more. He's going to go markless this half. He's got the 2, 6, 10 for a 10 box. He'll take 2 and leave 1. Dave with a 41 half. Garey Dionne with a 48 half. It's a difference of 7. Dave LaRoche still has the total at the moment, 151. Garey Dionne with 139. Dave LaRoche 47% on the head pin, while Garey Dionne's at 53%. Dave LaRoche has more splits than Garey Dionne, though. Garey Dionne better with the first ball average, 5.95. De La Roche, 5.05. Garey Dionne's doing better on lane 4 than lane 3 so far, with a 100 on 4 and 39 on 3 so far. But it's also uneven at this point. Bear that in mind because Garey Dionne's going to finish the second half on the other lanes. Actually, we'll put a pin in that stat in particular. Garey Dionne's averaging 5.95 on the first ball average. That's the one to watch out for right now. Garey Dionne on the head pin. He'll take 7 down and split 7. 4-6-10 for Garey. Dionne plays the wood, wanted to kick right. It was the right idea, but the 6 and the 10 are untouched. The wood just slid behind. And Garey, he slipped a bit, and it cost him. It'll be an 8 for 56 through 6. Garey Dionne, average points per away match, 8. Average points per home match, 6.6. So he does better on the road than at home. Here's Garey. On the 1-3 pocket, it's nearly a strike. He'll topple 9 and he'll nudge the 10th. The 4 pin is standing with some wood. Spare leave. Oh, and he'll miss it just slightly to the left. Candlepin is a difficult game that is very precise. If you thought the shot was easy, it's not always easy. And things like that can happen if the ball is off even just a little bit. Garey Dionne will take a 10 for 66 through 7. Garey will chop 2 out on the right side as a poke out of the 3 and the 9, and yet another half Worcester. Garey's on the head pin, and the 4 falls backwards and not into the 7. It was almost a pretty spare. And Garey Dionne will take a 9. And that's 75 through 8. Here's Garey Dionne to the left of the head pin, and he'll chop out 7. The isosceles triangle, the 1-8-9. And we have a pin that may be out of play, may be in play. Might be a toss-up. We'll have Dave LaRoche go down to investigate. It looks like it's probably going to settle around the middle. I think it might be just barely out. That's my DraftKings bet. And it seems I have won. Pin was out. Thank you, Dave LaRoche, for removing that pin. And no, this doesn't mess up any oil pattern. There was someone who was commenting saying, why are they walking on the lanes? It'll mess up the oil pattern. I'm like, we don't have oil patterns in Candlepin. So just to end that discussion right there. I just thought that was interesting, though. Yeah, if you're in 10-pin and you're seeing stuff like this, you're probably thinking a whole world that we just don't live in. That's the 10-pin world, and this is not 10-pin. This is Candlepin. Garey will nudge the head pin down on the spare shot and leave the 8 and the 9. And what a nice, pretty 10 box for Garey Dionne through the 9th. That's 85 through 9. Garey's on the head pin. 6 go down. 2 on the left, 2 on the right. 4, 6, 3, 10. 3, 4, 6, 7. Not the 10. 10 is gone. Garey will play the right 2 and leave the left 2. And that'll be a 9 for Garey. A 1-mark game. It'll be a 94. 3 better than his first. 3 better than his first. 91 plus 94 equals 185 for Garey Dionne, 2 games through. Still improving on the head pin percentage. He's risen to 55%. He has 6 splits, 6.05 first ball average. And now, Dave LaRoche. Dave's in the 1-2 pocket. He'll put down 6. 3 diamond. 3, 5, 6, 9. Will Dave break the diamond? He'll take a quarter of it. He'll take the 6 out. Dave makes it a pretty 10 box at least, so he's at 51 through 6. Down by 5 to Garey Dionne's 56 through 6. But if it's anything like the first game, Dave used the last 4 boxes to really tear into the marks, so let's see if he can do the same here. And he'll take 4 out. Spread eagle. Dave will take the right wing, leave the left wing. Sometimes it's just better just to pin it out and go to the next box. Dave will take 1 more out. It's an 8 box for 59 through 7. Trailing to Garey Dionne 66 through 7. There we go. They were just fixing there's a different scoreboard down there that you can't see. They were just fixing something with that. Dave will chop 2 more, 3 in the 9. On the outside of the head pin, he leaves the 2 diamond now on the spare shot. Becomes a 7 for Dave. He's at 66 through 8. Starting to approach the danger zone here. Dave is really going to need marks. 2 marks would be ideal. Dave will take down 5 as the 4 horsemen left side in the 10. Dave misses the head pin off to the right. The result of the play is a 7 box for Dave. He's at 73 through 9. With 1 to go, he now does require a mark. Spare in a high-powered fill or multiple strikes. in order to take the second game. Otherwise, we'll have a 2-point split ending the second game. And Dave will make his attempt now. Head pin. Oh, it's a spare leave. It's a split of 9. The 8 pin is down there. For the spare, and it's needed, and it's received. Dave LaRoche has got a single pin spare. He's at 83 and a bonus through 10, and maybe he can snipe this. No, he cannot. Excuse me. I'm sorry. He needed a strike. He can get to 93. So, yes, it will be 2 points for Garey Dionne. And Dave will take a 3 on the fill. That puts him at 86. Waiting for the official confirmation. Yes. Dave LaRoche, 86 in the second game. Garey Dionne at 94 in the second game. So it's 2 points apiece. 185 for Garey Dionne, 196 for Dave LaRoche. That score is confirmed. But anyways, let's move on to the next game here on the ACST. It's Garey Dionne and Dave LaRoche today in Lakeside Lanes in Manchester, New Hampshire. Hello everyone, I'm Steve Kelly. It's Class C North. It's Dave LaRoche saying Class C North, everybody. And yeah, but hey, you know, it does happen to everybody. And you know what's great? Seeing a match that is evenly matched. Both bowlers have 2 points apiece, and we're going into the third, and let's see who can break the tie or continue the tie. Let's see what happens here with Garey Dionne coming up next. Dionne. Bit of a misstep. 7 pin is down, and that's it. Garey overcorrects to the right. Leaves 5 pins in the center. Ends up being a 5 for Garey in the first. Start the third game. Garey Dionne, he has in his past 5 matches 17 strikes, 54 spares, and 69 tens. Head pin average per match, 21.4 for 50. Split average per match, 9.3. And Garey's on the head pin. He takes 6 down as the 4, 6, 7, 10 leave. That's an ugly one. There's no wood to help him on that. Dionne on the 4, 6, 7, 10. He'll take the 7, leave the 4, 6, 10. And it'll end up being a 7 box for Garey Dionne. That's 7 in the second for 12. Here we go on lane 4, Lakeside. Garey's on the head pin, and it's a good mix of 8. That's the 3 and the 5. For the spare shot, he's got it. That's a spare for Garey Dionne. Here's Garey Dionne working on a spare. On the 1-3 pocket, it's going to be a nice fill. It'll be an 8 fill. He's got the 7 and the 8 with wood. It's helpful. Oh, but he'll chop the 8. It shoots right because he hit the wood a little bit high. Probably could have gone a little bit lower and closer to the 7 to take both. Problem is missing that pin, you know, hitting that wood that was in front of the 7. That was going to be the issue. Yeah, to thread the needle on that. 39 through 4 with that 8 fill in the 9 box. Garey. Head pin. Takes 8 down, takes 9 down, takes 10 down. That's a strike for Garey Dionne. And that's a nice way to sit. Let's watch this shot again. Garey Dionne's at 49 and a bonus through 5. Look at that nice spin action. The Deadwood providing the messenger. So Garey Dionne with that strike, as I said, 49 and a bonus through 5 with a spare and an 8 fill, and then a 9 and then a strike. Boxes 3 through 5 were big for Garey. Here's Dave LaRoche now, starting his first half of the 3rd game. Dave will not avoid the split. 4-pin wiggles hard, but stands up. 4-6-3. He takes the 6. He leaves the 3. He leaves the 4. It'll be a 9 for Dave to open up the first box of the 3rd game. Dave LaRoche in his past 5 away match, he's taken 9.7 points on average. At home, at Lakeside, he's taken 7.7 points on average in his excuse me, not in the past 5, just in general. 9.7 away, 7.7 at home. That's a 4 drop for Dave LaRoche, missing the head pin. In Dave LaRoche's past 5 away matches, he's taken 50 points, averaging 10 points per match. That's a better. Things are looking up. And then for his home matches, 38 points, averaging 7.6 per match. So his recent averages of points take home per match are higher than his cumulative seasonal. And that's a good direction for the numbers to go in. Dave misses the spare. He leaves 3 on the deck. And it will be a 7. 16 through 2, up by 4 to Garey Dionne's 12 through 2. Dave will take 5. It's a Caleri right side. 1, 8, 3, 6, 10. And he'll chop 1. Dave will nudge 1 down. And it's a 7. 23 through 3 for Dave LaRoche. And it's 30 through 3 for Garey Dionne. And Dave on the pocket. Nice splash. It's the 410. Another split. Both bowlers 8 splits. It's a lot of splits today. We've been hungry for marks, but both of our bowlers are just getting these raw leaves that are tough. Dave on the 410. It almost goes. Deadwood rolls in a circle. Isn't concerned with the 10-pin, though. Dave will make it a 9. 32 through 3 for Dave LaRoche, 32 through 4 for Dave LaRoche, and 39 through 4 for Garey Dionne. Dave LaRoche has 1 box left before we switch back to Garey on the opposite lane. Dave with an 8 drop. It's the 2 and the 8. And you know what? I'll take an inverse half Worcester. It's a nice sleeve with wood. See if Dave can take it out. A mark would be nice. Sure would be, and it is a mark for Dave LaRoche. So with that mark for Dave, it's in. It's 42 and a bonus through 5. 49 and a bonus for Garey Dionne through 5. And that's the story. It's 234 for Garey Dionne and 238 for Dave LaRoche. They're both on marks, but that gap in the grand total pinfall has really thinned out. That's your halftime total. It is close. By all the numbers, both bowlers are bowling really neck and neck here. Here is Garey Dionne on lane 3, working on a strike. And he'll chop 3 out on the first ball of the strike fill. But you get another ball on the strike fill. And Garey will take a spare on strike. Well done. What a ball. Beautiful shot by Garey. He's at 69 through 6 and a bonus. And a strike on spare on strike for Garey Dionne. Now he's cooking. I'm catching up on my score here, 89. And a bonus for Garey Dionne. Garey has come to town in Manchester, New Hampshire. Look at that 6-pin fall last. That's the story for Garey Dionne, currently on a tear. 89 and a bonus through 7 for Garey. Lane 3, working on a strike. Ah, no, chop 2, but he still gets an extra ball on that fill, so not a disaster yet for Garey Dionne. Garey, he'll make it a respectable 6 fill. 95 through 7. 1279. And it ends up being 8 for Garey. That's 103 through 8. So Garey Dionne with 4 marks this game. He went on a strike on spare on strike tear. 2 big 20s in a row and then a 16. Puts him at triple digits in the 8th frame. Here comes Garey on the head pin again, and he'll take 5 out. It is the spread eagle minus the 7. He's got the 2, 3, 4, 6, 10. He'll take 2 out on the right side. 2 left, 1 right. 2, 4, 10. And Garey makes it an 8 for 111 through 9. And if he can get a few more pins, he's going to average over 100 with this salvage game in the 3rd. With a 91 and 94 in the first 2, but this 3rd game is upping his average by a lot. 1 box to go for Garey. 3 pocket. Mixes down 5. Hay bale on the left. 2, 4, 5, 7, 8. Lane 3 for Garey for a spare. Cluster of 5, chops the 4. He's got the 2, 7, 8, 5. And it will be an 8 for Garey Dionne. 119 is his 3-game total, averaging over 100 for a 3-game total of 304. Nice game by Garey. 3 marks in a row. Dave LaRoche looks to respond. Dionne leads by 77 in the string and 66 in the total. 5 boxes ahead. Dave LaRoche is on a mark. And Dave LaRoche with a 9 fill, leaving the 5, and the 5 had a chance to go down even. He's at 51 through 5, excuse me. Possibly another mark. Oh, and don't hurt it. Dave will take a spare. Not quite directly. Keeping us on our toes, nudging that wood into the 5. Hey, if it works, it works. And it worked there for Dave. Drifted a little bit, crossed over. It was scary, but that wood saved him. 61 through 6 and a bonus, working on a spare. LaRoche on the head pin, a little full, but not bad. Still a 6 fill. 67 through 6. We have a game, folks. The race is on. Check mark right side. 3, 5, 6, 10. Dave will chop the 6 and the 10, leaving the 3 and the 5. Ends up being a 9 for Dave. That's 76 through 7. You're watching the Atlantic Candlepin Singles Tour. I'm Steve Kelly in Manchester, New Hampshire at Lakeside Lanes once again. Yesterday we had a great match here on these 2 lanes. And here we are once again for another great match on these 2 lanes. Oh, and Dave will chop 1, and that's a quarter, Worcester. Not even a half, a quarter. Yesterday, it was Nick Charest and Brian Hebert battling it out. And today, we got 2 other great bowlers as well, Garey Dionne and Dave LaRoche. Dave will chop out all but 4 pins. See accordion for Dave, no spare. And it's going to be a 6. 82 through 8. At this point in the game, Garey Dionne had his 3-mark run, and he rose to 103 through 8. Dave LaRoche at 82 through 8, not doing bad, but he's going to need some marks to get to the end here. There's Dave in the 1-3 pocket, a nice attempt. A mix of 6, 2 diamond. Dave versus the diamond. He'll take 2, leave 2. And Dave takes an 8. That's 90 through 9. So Dave needs a triple strike to win, or a double strike and a 9 fill to tie. It's out of that, or it's 2 points for Garey Dionne. And that will be 2 points for Garey Dionne. 3 drop for Dave. 6-pack right in the 7. 25th lane is a great bar at Lakeside Lanes. The six-pack is brought to you by the 25th Lane. It's also a function room here at Lakeside Lanes. If you want to have a birthday party in Bowl, consider that. Be sure to call or message Lakeside Lanes for all the details on availability of that. 1-7-10-6-9 for Dave, no mark. It'll be a 6. 96, game 3 for Dave LaRoche. That is a 3, game total of 292 for Dave LaRoche. Garey Dionne has overtaken the total 3 games in with a 304. Dave LaRoche 292. Dave LaRoche has 2 points. Garey Dionne currently has 4. That's the story of the 3rd game. We're going to set up for the 4th game now here on the ACST. 3 down, 2 to go. Hope you're enjoying this match from Manchester, New Hampshire at Lakeside Lanes. I'm Steve Kelly on the mic. Great to see you again. Just checking in with you all at home. Let's go on to Garey Dionne to start game 4 here in Manchester, New Hampshire. Garey Dionne, our away bowler from Academy Lanes in Haverhill, Massachusetts. A lefty throw, a nice ball. 8 drop, 3-6. And Garey will miss the 3-6. Even if he hit the 6, I think it would have spun the wood to the 3, but he went too far to the right. Hit a little hard there. He'll take a 9. Garey Dionne, 15th highest Class C average, 103.4. 8th highest Class C high single at 145. 9th highest Class C perfect box percentage at 40%. 7 go down for Garey. 179. Garey misses the head pin off to the left. It'll be an 8 for 17 through 2 for Garey Dionne. Recently, Garey Dionne faced Paul Campos in round 12, taking 4 points with a 5-15 series. He threw a 90, a 106, a 103, a 112, and a 104. With 3 strikes, 10 spares, 8 10s. 23 for 50 on the head pin with 10 splits. Garey Dionne on the 1-3 pocket. He'll mix down 9 and almost got a strike out of it. The 5 pin was the last pin standing. Some wood nearby the 5. Garey tries to play it at an angle, goes a little too much to the left, and the wood is not concerned with that spare. It'll be no spare for Garey. The 5 pin stands tall, the king pin. It'll be a 9. 26 through 3. Garey Dionne on lane 4. 7 go down as he misses the head pin to the right. 8 go down, excuse me. 1 in the 7. Garey misses the head pin to the left and goes into the gap between the 1 and the 7. That'll be an 8 for Garey. 9-8-9-8, 34 through 4. Garey Dionne, past 5 away matches, he's taken 40 points and he's averaged 8 per match. Past 5 home matches, he's taken 28 points and averages 5.6 per home match. So Garey has supercharged his road game as of late. He'll take 4 down as a 6-pack left side. And we ID again at the 25th lane. Great bar at Lakeside Lanes. Great bartenders and everything. Do check it out when you're here. Garey on the 6-pack takes 5 of 6, leaves the head pin. 9 or 10. It's a 10. Garey Dionne with a 44 half. 91, 94, 119, and an in-progress 44 for Garey Dionne halfway through the 4th for a 44 half. 2 for 5 in the head pin this half. He's gone 57% on the head pin so far this match with 9 splits and is averaging 6.28 on average for the first ball. That's a story for Garey Dionne. Here comes Dave LaRoche. Three go down, 6, 9, 10. Dave on the head pin on the pocket in the right place to put the ball, but the 5 pin is left. No spare. And Dave narrowly misses the king pin. It'll be a 9 for Dave LaRoche in the first. Here comes Dave with a 1 drop on the 4 pin. Dave LaRoche in his past 5 matches, 16 strikes, 65 spares, and 74 tens. And Dave on the pocket on the 4 drop. He leaves the 6 and the 10. On average, Dave LaRoche has been going 21.8 for 50 on the head pin and 11.2 splits per match. And there's Dave LaRoche with a 10-box cleanup. 19 through 2. At least it appears so. It was marked as an 8 on the scoreboard. Oh, he's correcting it now. Never mind. I was going to say, I thought that was a 10, but yes, it is a 10. 19 through 2 is confirmed. Dave, yikes. Weird chop out of 3. He's got the 4 horsemen left side and then the 6, 9, 10. It'll be Dave versus this mess. 1, 2 pockets, shaves off a few. He's still got 5 to take out. 7, 9, 10, 4, 6. He'll make it an ugly 6 bucks that he went to war for in the 3rd for 25. Down by 1 to Garey Dionne's 26. Here comes Dave on the head pin, pop in the pocket, and splitting 7, 7, 10, 4. Off to the right of this match is Chris Salmons and Paul Kravitz warming up for their match. That's a Class E North matchup for them. Dave LaRoche will take 2 and leave 1. Dave will make that a 9 box. That's 34 through 4. Both bowlers 34 through 4, so it's going to be a pretty even game going into the halftime of the 4th game. Garey Dionne took 2 games. Dave LaRoche has taken 1. Grand total pinfall is pretty close. Just a difference of 22 right now at this uneven point in the match. Dave will take 3 out. Talon spread eagle with the 8-pin standing behind the bird. Dave goes into the hole down the center. Just trying to get out of this box. He'll get a 6. 40 through 5 for Dave LaRoche at the half of the 4th game. Down by 4 to Garey Dionne's 44 through 5. And the total is just a difference of 16 in Garey Dionne's favor with 348. Dave LaRoche 332. So we'll see who can get some marks, go on a run. Both bowlers have done it at least once in different games. Let's see what happens here. It'll be Garey Dionne coming up on lane 3 on the opposite lane here in just a moment here on the ACST. Here's Garey. Takes 3 out. 4, 7, 8. Garey Dionne will go off to the left. And Garey will go off to the right. It's going to be a 5. 49 through 6 for Garey Dionne. And Garey will take a Kaleri, a 5 drop. 1, 2, 4, 7, 9. Takes the sleeper, leaves the 1, 2, 4, 7. Ends up being a 6. 55 through 7 for Garey Dionne. Garey Dionne has 4 pinfall wins this season. He has bowled 12 matches. This is his 13th. And there's a headpin shot and nearly a strike. Everything but the 8. And Garey Dionne with a spare. Nicely done for Mr. Garey. Let's watch this shot for Garey Dionne on the 8. And there it goes. Well done. 65 and a bonus through 8 for Mr. Dionne as he fills a spare to the left of the headpin and a 2 fill. Another half Worcester for Garey Dionne. 67 through 8. Takes a few more out, shaves some off to the right of the target pin, 147. And Ends up being a nice 10 box for Garey Dionne. That's 77 through 9. 381 and counting for Garey Dionne. 1 box to go before he finishes the 4th game of 5. Both bowlers over 50% on the head pin today so far. Garey Dionne at 54%, Dave LaRoche at 51%. And he'll shave off a few there. 3 down on the left side, 4, 7, 8 taken out. Couple more down, no mark, 1, 3, 6. Garey makes it a 9, that's 86 for the 4th game. So Garey Dionne with a 4-game total of 390. Just waiting for that to officially go in. There we go. It is officially at 86 for Garey Dionne. 91, 94, 119, and 86. 390 for Garey Dionne. Dave LaRoche with a 40.5 with 332. 5 boxes behind Garey Dionne. Needs 58 in the total to tie, and 46 in the string to tie. Coming up next will be Dave LaRoche. He's just doing a little lane maintenance to get a ball return situation figured out, and I think it is now figured out. Here's Dave LaRoche. Dave, head pin, 4 down. Spread eagle on that head pin. 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 10 for Dave LaRoche. Sponsored by the Alamo on 99 Route 13 in Brookline, New Hampshire. Dave will take the 10 off the eagle. And Dave he's going to take a 5 box, unfortunately. That's 45 through 6. We were signaling that the ball return is coming back a little bit slow. It is working, it's just going a little slow. Seems Dave is only getting 2 balls back of 4, as you can see by the discussion down there. Dave LaRoche, his longest streak of matches over 500 has been 4 in a row. His longest streak of matches over 550 has been 1. Not in a row, just 1. Dave LaRoche on the head pin, 1-3 pocket. He'll take 8 down. You see, if you throw marks, you don't need as many bowling balls. Dave LaRoche drops 8, leaves the 5-8. Spare leave, piece of wood lined up in the right way in front of the 5 diagonally. He can sweep back. Dave goes for it. It looks like it's going to be, a pretty one. Scared me a little bit, but it did go for a spare. 55 and a bonus through 7 for Dave LaRoche. Look at that. Yeah, I was scared by that sidewall jump. Wasn't quite the sweep I thought it was going to be in my mind, but Dave figured it out, and it worked out. He's got a spare for 55 through 7 and a bonus. Dave, 1-2 pocket, a big fill. It's another 8 drop and a spare leave. It's the 6-10. Dave has solved the ball return issue by just throwing fewer balls by getting marks. 63 through 7. See, it was a challenge, not an issue. Dave LaRoche, he'll get another spare, and that's how he did it. 73 and a bonus for Dave LaRoche. Watch this. 6-10. All over it. 73 and a bonus through 8. LaRoche on the head pin. Ooh, a 3 fill. A talon spread eagle. Seen a lot of those today. That's Dave LaRoche's 12th split of the day. Garey Dionne has 9 splits. So both bowlers are just getting the royal treatment of spares today. High head pin percentages, but also high splits. Dave will play the 3 on the right, a wise choice, but none of the pins go over to the 4 cluster on the left side. That's 82 through 9 with that 6 box for Dave LaRoche. Compare that to 77 through 9 for Garey Dionne. Dave LaRoche looks like he's going to be evening things up by taking this 4th game. He needs 5 to do it. And if he does, we'll have, again, another situation where we'll have even points and almost even total pinfall. Dave in the 1-3 pocket. There's the 6 pins we need, so he will take the 4th game. 2, 7, 8, 10. Dave LaRoche is averaging 5.18 on the first ball. Garey Dionne is averaging 5.93 on the first ball. Dave will play the wood, but he'll miss the object, and he'll leave the object as the only pin left standing. Dave for the 10. He's got the 10 with a 92 in game 4. That's enough to take 2 more points. It's a dead even 4-4 split so far, and it's a difference of 6 in the total. Dave LaRoche will take the string by 6. Garey Dionne will hold on to the total by 6. 390 for Garey Dionne and 384 for Dave LaRoche. It's a close match, and we're going into the 5th game basically as a 1-string roll-off, and that's going to be cool. It's a 6-point toss-up. Both bowlers playing up to each other, doing very well. We're going to go to game 5 here in just a moment on the ACST. 1 second just to get things figured out. Here's Garey Dionne. And Garey, he'll mix a few down. Just checking his slide. 7 up, 3 down. Garey on the head pin hard, leaves the 2-3. There's all the balls. They all just decided to come back. Just had to jostle some things behind the scenes on lane 4. And Garey will take a 9 in the first. Garey Dionne past 5 matches totaling 2739 seasonal pinfall. In the past 5 matches specifically, compared to his actual seasonal pinfall of 6206 pins. Here's Garey to the right of the head pin, takes 6 out. Leaves 4 standing. 1, 2, 7, 1, 4, 7, and 9. Garey Dionne's longest streak of matches over 500 has been 4 in a row. Longest winning streak of over 7 points has been 4 in a row this season so far. Garey Dionne has had 2 matches in a row with more than 10 points per match. Garey Dionne will take an 8. 17 through 2 for Garey. Here's Garey Dionne's stats again in visual form in case you need them, and then the blue box is his current performance as of right now. His current away average is 103.9, and he averages 103.4 on the season. Very similar away and home averages, just a couple of decimal points off. That's a story for Garey Dionne. He'll take 3 out so far. And Garey on the head pin is the 4 and the 10. A good bid, just some action that just didn't quite happen. Garey with a 9, 26 through 3. Both bowlers, yeah, you got to look at the split stat for both of our bowlers. It's just nuts. Both bowlers are pretty close in head pins. Garey has 21 so far. Dave LaRoche has 23. Garey has 9 splits to Dave LaRoche's 13. Garey, there's a head pin, and there's another split. Yet another split for Garey Dionne. That's his 10th split of the match. Banana split, 4, 6, 7, 10. That goes into the channel. He's going to take a -1 off of that as it takes the 7 pin out illegitimately. So it's just -1 off whatever this box is going to be. Garey will take an 8. 34 through 4. Garey on the head pin, on the pocket, and he's going to have a messenger come to take the 6, but not the 10. It's a 9 drop. Spare opportunity for Garey Dionne. Garey on the single pin spare, and I think it is good. Yep, it is a spare. Okay. Just wanted to make sure that actually was, of course, but it has been called a spare by both bowlers. It's the bowler's call. Have a look at that. So Garey Dionne at 44 and a bonus through 4. Oh, no, excuse me, I do have a score correction. I put something in incorrectly. That's 43 in a bonus through 5 for Garey Dionne. It was a 7 in the 4th. There we go. Score correction in. Thank you. 43 in a bonus through 5. Here's Dave LaRoche. That's a 4 for drop for Dave LaRoche so far. 1, 2, 4, 8, 6, 10. Dave misses the object, drifts to the left. Leaves 4 on the plate. 1, 2, 6, 10 for Dave. And Dave will take 2, leave 2. That's 8 through the 1st for Dave. 8 after 1. Dave LaRoche will take another 4 out. Dave on the outside of the head pin. He'll take a spare off of that 4 drop. There's some redemption for Dave LaRoche right there. Watch with me on this. He hit the outside of the head pin. That was a great one. You'll love to see it. Outside hit, it looks pretty. Great maximum bounce. 18 in a bonus through 2 for Dave LaRoche. Spare fill coming up. Head pin imminent. It is confirmed, and it will be a 6 fill for Dave LaRoche and another split. 24 through 2. 7, excuse me. Late falling pin. Looked away for a second. To key in the score. Gotta love that. Hey, 7 is even better for Dave. 25 through 2. Dave tries to cut 2 into 1. Doesn't quite do it. And Dave will make that a 9 box as it goes into the channel for 34 through 3. Rather humorously, there is a missing head pin on lane 5. I'm not sure if they just haven't bowled on that lane in a while, or if it was actually taken out that way, but It's always fun to see a missing head pin. Dave LaRoche on the head pin on the 1-3 pocket. Ooh, and he'll mix down 8. 5-8 leave with wood around it. That's looking like a tasty spare leave for Dave LaRoche right there. 4 planks of wood in front of the 5-8. There it goes. Dave LaRoche has a spare. So Dave LaRoche alternating open frame and spare. 4 boxes through. 44 and a bonus. He nudges all that down with the wood. Capping, nearly capping the wood, actually. Dave to the right of the head pin. He'll take down 6. 50 through 4. Oh, and a spare for Dave LaRoche on that head pin on the outside again. Wonderful shot by Dave LaRoche. Actually, can we get this queued up really quickly? 1, 2, 4, 10. Going down on that outside. The ball on the outside of that head pin went into the pin that was far away, and that's why you hit on the outside of the object. That's 60 and a bonus through 5 for Dave LaRoche with 3 marks in a row. Reclaiming the total for now on a mark. Garey Dionne also on a mark, 433. We have a match. It's a 6-pointer in the 5th. Let's see who can swing it in their favor here on the ACST. It's Garey Dionne on lane 3. Here we go. Garey Dionne working on a mark. And he'll take 6 on his fill, including his first half with 49 through 5. One, 3, 6, 10 for Garey. He'll slightly miss the object. He'll take the 3 and the 6, leaving the 1 and the 10. And Garey will take the head pin and leave the 10 for a 9. That's 58 through 6 for Mr. Dionne. Garey, you wanted to curve right, but that lefty throw kind of misfired a bit. He'll take 5 out as a center diamond in the 8. Garey blows up that remaining cluster of 5 for a spare. No problem for Garey Dionne. That's 68 through 7. Let's have a look at this shot again. Brilliantly executed by Garey Dionne. He's just going to clear that dead wood out of there. 68 plus gravy in the 7th for Garey. On the fill, on the pocket, takes 7 down. 75 through 7 with that 7 fill. It's a triangle, 2, 4, 5. Garey, oh, on the triangle, he takes 2 of 3, he leaves the 4. Takes 2 of 3 and leaves the 4. He shot out the 2 and the 5. And Garey will take a 10 box for 85 through 8. $85 through 8 for Garey Dionne. And Garey will mix down 8. 6-10. That wood is settling. Garey Dionne will wait for it to settle. That's going to be rough. Yeah, do you cue shot it? Even that's risky. You could miss the cue shot and go for the wood behind the wood facing us. That's probably a better chance. Garey Dionne's a lefty. I think that can cross over just fine. He's going to go for the cue shot, and he cue shots it for a spare. Billiards comes to bowling for Garey Dionne. 6-10 leave. Great shot. 95 in a bonus with this fill. Head pin shot, 6 fill. Garey with 3 right, 1 left. Misses the object, misses the target, misses all pins. He's at 101 through 9. Stands to get to 107 or higher. It'll be a 6. 107 is Garey Dionne's 5th game. That's a 5-game total of 497 today for Garey Dionne with a confirmed 107. He has 3 marks from boxes 5 onward. Spare 6, spare 7, spare 6. 91, 94, 119, 86, and 107 for Garey Dionne. 5.92 first ball average, over 50% in the head pin with 11 splits for the day. That's the story for Garey Dionne today. We'll come back to Dave LaRoche here in just a couple of seconds. In case you missed it, here's Dave LaRoche's stats in case you need a refresher on that. He's 114 and 68, a very positive season record so far this season. 13 matches played of 18 in the regular season. Away average 105.5, home average 102.6, overall average 104.10. So that's the story for Dave LaRoche today. Dave LaRoche is ready to go now. He's working on a spare, by the way. 2nd spare in a row. Lane 3. Let's go. Dave is going for the head pin. He'll take 7 on that fill. Well done. 67 through 6. Through 5. Blech. Too many 6s. Too many 6s and 7s. Too many 6-7s. 67 through 5 for Dave LaRoche with that 7 fill on his spare. Can it be a triple spare? Let's find out. Oh, no! Just nudges it a little bit. Probably in the one spot you probably shouldn't have gone for on that one piece of wood. Any other hit would have probably taken it out. Dave for the 8. He'll get the 8. 75 through 6. $75 through 6 for Dave LaRoche. And it's a close game. He's going to need to get some marks here. Dave will take 5 out. 4 horsemen right side in the 9. Dave versus the cluster of 5. Takes all but the head pin that he missed. And Dave, it ends up being a 9 box. That's 84 through 7 for Dave LaRoche. We are at Lakeside Lanes again, as previously mentioned, on Candia Road in Manchester, New Hampshire. Opened on November 27th, 1959. That's about 66 years ago and some change. Do check it out. Lakeside Lanes is a fantastic place to bowl at in Manchester, New Hampshire. Voted multiple times by WMUR, the Viewer's Choice Best Bowling Alley, for 5 years. Well, it says 4X, but it's actually 5X because 2025 was a late edition. Dave LaRoche is ready to go. Dave's on the 1-3 pocket. Takes 5 out. Cluster 5 on the left side. 2 diamond in the 7. LaRoche makes his bid. He leaves 2. It's the 5 and the 8 to shoot out for a 10 box. And he'll take a 9, leaving the 5 pin. That's 93 through 8 for Dave LaRoche. 85 through 8 for Garey Dionne at the same point in the match. I'd like to thank you for watching today as we approach the final two boxes of the match. I'd like to thank our ACST committee members, including our Commissioner Danny Finn, Class C Treasurer Anthony Karen. Well, actually, I just saw physically here just a couple of moments ago he was bowling. Our statistician Micah Imparato, the staff at Lakeside Lanes, Bobby Greco is maintaining the front desk here today, soloing it. Steve Abadili, who contributed some video content, check out his work, link in the description. And there's Dave LaRoche with a drop of 8. The 7 and the 9. If you like my work, check out 3 Ball Spare on Facebook and YouTube. Do check out the Atlantic Candlepin Singles Tour page on Facebook as well, and YouTube as well, for more great matches such as this. Dave LaRoche after an 8 drop, nudges down the 9 with some wood and leaves the 7. LaRoche for the 10. He'll take the 9 instead, just missing the 7 slightly off to the right. 102 through 9 for Dave LaRoche. 5 down from tying, 6 down from winning. And the total, Dave LaRoche is down by 11. So he needs a mark for the total for the 4 points. But we'll assess all of that at the end of this box. So stay tuned. And also stay tuned for the highlight reel presented by the 25th lane at Lakeside Lanes immediately following the end of this match. There's a 6 drop for Dave LaRoche on the right side, a check mark. 5, 6, 3, 10, a must mark situation for Dave LaRoche. Many points in the balance. And the results of the shot on the check mark. The 5 goes into the 10, he leaves the 3 and the 6, so Garey Dionne is going to hold on to the total. But Dave will take 2 points for the 5th game. And that will be a 10 for Dave. 112 is Dave LaRoche's 5 game total. 5th game. His 5 game total is 496, just by 1. Garey Dionne holds on. The away bowler victorious with a 497 over Dave LaRoche's 496. Wow, what a match in terms of the total. And so it's going to be a fairly generous split. Garey Dionne, since he held on to the grand total pinfall, he kind of evened things out a little bit, and he actually comes out on top with 8 points to Dave LaRoche's 6. So, wow, what a heck of a way to end it. So, Garey Dionne is the only one with strikes today. Dave LaRoche had more spares than Garey Dionne. In the head pins, both bowlers bowling way over 50%, and that's great to see. Garey Dionne with 52%, Dave LaRoche 58%. A lot of splits, oh my goodness. Dave LaRoche with 15 splits, and Garey Dionne with 11. And both bowlers in the 5-point-something range for the first ball average, which is always great to see. Garey Dionne with 5.92 on the first ball. Dave LaRoche 5.34 on the first ball. And the fills, both bowlers almost identical. Garey Dionne with 62 in the total fills, averaging 6.2 per mark. Dave LaRoche averaging 5.1 per mark with a total of 65 on bonus fills. In terms of lanes 3 and 4, Garey Dionne threw a 245 on lane 3 and 252 on lane 4, so he liked lane 4 better. Dave LaRoche liked lane 3 better, 252 on lane 3 and 244 on lane 4, so that's cool. Kind of opposite lane situations. One's a righty, one's a lefty, so I guess that kind of makes some sense if you kind of think about it a little more. So it will be an 8-point situation for Garey Dionne and 6 points for Dave LaRoche. Garey Dionne will move to 94 and 88. Dave LaRoche will go to 120 and 76. So that's the story today for them. Here's some graphs if you want to pause the video and take a deeper look at this. This is always fun to analyze in terms of what stats sway when and what stats, you know, it's kind of the secondary stuff, but it's cool. You know, it's like if you like NFL stats, you'll like this a little bit. Anyways, folks, I've been Steve Kelly for Dave LaRoche and Garey Dionne. It's been great broadcasting this for you today. Do stay tuned here in a couple of seconds-ish while I just get the highlight reel put together. It's been great broadcasting this to you. Another great Atlantic Candlepin Singles Tour match, and we'll see you next time. Stay tuned for the highlight reel. And check it out. That's a spare for Garey. First ball, first box. By the Alamo, and the owner of the Alamo, Dominic Mariano, bowls with myself and Dave. Oh, and there's a spare for Dave. For the spare, and he'll just barely get it, but he's got the spare. And it's another spare for Dave LaRoche. For the spare, and it's needed, and it's received. It's the 3 and the 5. For the spare shot, he's got it. That's a spare. Garey, head pin, takes 8 down, takes 9 down, takes 10 down. That's a strike for Garey Dionne. A mark would be nice. Sure would be, and it is a mark for Dave LaRoche. And Garey will take a spare on strike. Well done by Garey. He's at 69 through 6 and a bonus. And a strike on spare on strike for Garey Dionne. Possibly another mark. Oh, and Garey Dionne with a spare. Nicely done. Dave goes for it. It looks like it's going to be, oh, a pretty one. Scared me a little bit, but it did go for a spare. See, it was a challenge, not an issue. Dave LaRoche, he'll get another spare, and that's... Garey on the single pin spare, and I think it is good. Dave on the outside of the head pin. He'll take a spare off of that 4 drop. Thanks to wood in front of the 5-8. There it goes. Dave LaRoche has a spare. Oh, and a spare for Dave LaRoche. Garey blows up that remaining cluster of 5 for a spare. Probably a better chance. Garey Dionne's a lefty. I think that can cross over just fine. He's going to go for the Q shot, and he Q shots it for a spare.